Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the old Den of Tools. And boy, have we got some news for you today. Yep, from good old Tekton, we got a new product here. It's their Tekton Crowfoot wrenches, or Crowfoot wrenches. I know I'm always putting the possessive on there, but the fact of the matter is this, it's more than this. It's a lot more than just this, because this is just the tip of the iceberg, because Tekton is working on patenting this process that could be turning the corner, if you would, for bringing manufacturing, real honest to goodness manufacturing back into the old United States there. Yeah, this process, which is simple, like stupid kind of simple, kind of makes you want to do a facepalm and go, why didn't somebody think of this before? But the fact of the matter is, this is the kind of thing that I could see that could start a groundswell of made in the USA tools at really excellent levels and affordable pricing. I'm excited about it. I got to tell you that. So let's jump into it. Let's see what Tekton has for us. All right, let me grab one of these out so we can get up close and personal with it. You can see the fit and finish on every side of this. Clean and smooth. The machining's, of course, top notch. The chrome level is excellent. So this is a 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter. I don't have any 3/8 extensions, so I wanted to try it with that. Testing the set and the retention on it. Very snug, very solid fit. No push through of the anvil on the other end. So if there was clearance issues with that, that's not going to be an issue with these. The rack itself, I also want to talk about the rack real quick. I thought at first when I saw this, these are just going to be generically slotted to roughly the size, and it'd be easy to accidentally put the wrong one in the wrong size. But you can put a bigger one in a smaller one, but you cannot put a larger Crowfoot in I should say a smaller Crowfoot in the larger socket or slot there, because they are fit individually, which I thought was a really nice touch. I have not had much of a chance to use these. I fiddled around with them some. Hopefully we'll have some jobs coming up on the other Jeep that we have that we'll be needing these for. So they should come in handy. And as I said, this is a first look. So as we use them more, we'll come back around and we'll touch base on them and let you know. Also, guys, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, you should check in on our Sunday live stream. We talk about that sort of stuff. There's a lot of follow-up that we get to on that, where I can talk about what we've done with them over the months or years. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's a simple pause on first look at the Tekton Crowfoot. Yeah, of course, we just got this in. Haven't had a chance to really put them to the test. We're going to take a look at them over some time here. I got to be honest, though, a Crowfoot wrench is one of those things that you don't often use unless you're in a specific industry or you have a specific job. Crowfoot is not the wrench you use all the time. It's the wrench you go, oh, thank goodness I have it when I needed it. And let's talk about some of that here. We're going to talk about some of what they're used for and some of what they do. But I'm going to give you a quick overview of what they're offering right now. It's currently just 3/8 drive wrenches. They've got 5 sets. They got 1/2 inch Crowfoot wrenches coming out later this year. I think it's going to be, they say winter of 2020. So sometime in the next, 3 to 4 or 5 months or so. But the fact of the matter is that they're beautiful tools. And why they're coming out with these, probably because of the simplicity of the form factor. Although, granted, they did start with something else first. But let's step through these a bit more, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Here's the first set. Here's the set that I looked at. And it's not an inexpensive set by any means, but it's also not tool truck prices either. And remember, when you do order from Tekton, you get 10%, you get free shipping on orders $50 or more, and you get 10% back in rewards on every order. So we got the 3/8 inch drive Crowfoot wrench, 17 piece. This is the metric set here. It's a 17 piece with the rack for $155. Now, you can get it with the key for $1 less. And that's the one that looks like this. It's got the little stick that goes through it instead. Or you can get it without anything for $5 less. I got to tell you, I like this rack. I'm pretty fond of it. But there's some give and take. And again, we'll get to some of that on down the road. Let's step through some of these features, shall we? One of the real benefits of a Crowfoot wrench is it allows you to get a wrench in places that you can't normally reach. Often using it with a ratchet on an extension. One of the big benefits is also you can get in and sometimes often, I should say, remove a bolt or something that you would usually have to remove other pieces first to get to, and that allows you to do some faster repairs or replacements. You can also use them with a torque wrench. There's some math involved in how to calculate and stuff, but if you have to torque something that's harder to get to, this is the thing that's going to let you do that. And again, here you can see used with an extension, you can see how clean the lines are in this, and we're going to talk about that here. And yes, of course, you can use it with a flex head as well. I know some of you prefer the locking flex heads. That's a personal taste kind of thing. But here's a comparison real quick of some of the Crowfoot wrenches out there that are in that same kind of competitive line. You got the Snap-on, we got the Mac. Yes, I know there's different types of each one. They can't put them all in here. But here's what you can see is Tekton went to a lot of work. I did actually get a chance to sit down with their engineers and quiz them extensively about what choices they made, why they made them. And what they were able to do is they used some advanced computer engineering software, and they were able to trim out essentially all the fat, leaving just the extra metal where it was needed and getting rid of it everywhere else. So that gets you, that gets you not just a smaller tool, but it gets you into tighter places. Also, you have more clearance. As you can see there on the bottom row, you're showing that the extension or the anvil, if you will, is going in no more than necessary. It's fully seated, but it's not protruding to the point where it's becoming a clearance issue on the bottom side. Not that that's often going to be an issue, but it is a sleek, well-designed, well-thought-out, well-engineered piece of equipment. Now, moving on, they also did this thing with the detents. So the front and back have detent slots in them, which means that if you put your anvil with your retaining pin in there, it's going to lock in place. But if you want to be able to take it off easier, you turn it towards the side, and then it's going to be easier to remove, as I showed in the video. Now, and then here they have an illustration. You got to love Tekton. They put out some great detailed stuff on their website because it really helps to be able to see what it is, the features and stuff that you're talking about. Now, the other thing I really like is they do have stamped markings on this. No laser etching. I know a lot of people are not fans of laser etching. It looks good when you get it brand new, but we all know it rubs off later down the road. We got stamped chromed pieces there, very smooth. And, the rack that comes with it, this is a patent pending rack as well. Rather than the usual piece that's all splayed out, you usually see them flopped out to the side. So you're taking less room. It does require a bit more height in the drawer, but taking up a lot less room. I think it's something like 2.5 inches or something. And there's the two sizes. There's the metric and the SAE, the standard. And of course the keys that we're talking about, if that's your preference, probably better for somebody who works mobile, who's taking these things with them. If you got them in your drawer, probably not I don't think the best solution there. And there you can see 2.5 inches high for the drawer there. And in fact, on mine, I had to move it down to a lower drawer. But for me, considering how often you use those, I didn't really need it in my wrench drawer. So that wasn't really, a drawback for me. Shut up, Moto. So let's talk about the manufacturing process. And they've coined the term Lasermill or laser milling. And what does that mean to us here? So laser milling is a 2-step process. Well, it's a 4-step process. But the first step of the process is using an industrial laser. Now, this is not their laser. This is stock art because I asked them, hey, can you give me any footage? They said, no. They're very, secret squirrel about this, and who can blame them? This is going to change some things about the way tools are made. Trust me, once people catch on, they're going to be wanting to do this too, because the simplicity of this, basically what they've done is they've taken a version of rapid prototyping and turned it into rapid production. And with the laser milling, what they do is the first thing they do is an industrial laser basically cookie cutters the piece out of sheet steel. Or, for this, is the thickness of the sheet steel here, it's going to be a lot more than what you see here. It's going to be fairly thick, which means that's a pretty peppy little laser. And then the second major component that they're doing that's different is that they're then seeing it after, seeing it. I had to think about it. Seeing it after the fact, because what you're doing is you're getting the cookie cutter, but that's not going to get you close enough. It's not going to give you that kind of, laser level accuracy, believe it or not. So then they bring it into the CNC, and that's where they inch up on it. And, when we say in carpentry, which is, cut close, sand to fit kind of thing. Well, that's kind of what they're doing here. And that's allowing them to get precise level of finish. And here's the thing. Because this is all computer controlled on both levels, as technologies change, as they develop new concepts, they can change the process iteratively. They can listen to feedback. They can go, oh, you want it like this? And they can change it. If they get enough feedback, they can go, okay, we should put a notch here. We should make it lower here. We should make it higher there. They can do this. They're not stuck with one, forging process. And here's what this process kind of looks like. After the laser cookie cutting process, we end up with a blank that looks like this. It's fairly rough, but we get the general shape and idea. Then we bring it over to the CNC, and that takes all those edges off, brings it up to the final dimensions, or close to the final dimensions, because the next step is heat treatment. That's going to change the shape, which means they've done all the math, computer calculations, and everything to know how much the metal is going to shrink or expand or change based on the heat treat. And then after that, polish, fit, and chrome to the final precise, item. This is, as I said, it's a dead simple idea. Cookie cutter it out, trim it to fit, heat treat, and polish. That's about it. Sounds simple, right? No one's done it before, really. And it kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder why. Well, as I said, that's not the only tool they're doing this with. They've got these angle-headed wrenches as well that they recently released, but they didn't really talk much about. But these are done through the same process. Here's the thing. As far as I understand it, all these tools are being currently manufactured in Michigan. And not just in Michigan, like in and around the area that Tekton is based. So they can have their little paws in all processes related to it. And the nice thing with this is they were able to get, basically they were able to play with the design through the rapid prototyping process and then immediately convert that process directly into production. Here's the Tekton wrench at 30 to 60, all the different degrees here, flipping it left, flipping it right. You can see how it works. Some of the competitors who are using a different angle system, you have a lot more limitation in where you can access the workpiece. And another component of that is the offsetness of not just the angle of the head, but how far it's offset from the shaft of the tool. There you can see a comparison to Snap-on versus Tekton. Tekton has a much higher offset, allowing you easier access to the tool. And here's what that looks like. This is the Snap-on tool. They've set up a little demo here. This is the Snap-on tool trying to access a bolt. And as you can see in this scenario, it gets very limited access, whereas the Tekton has a lot more access. And you flip it around, you can attack it from different angles, and that's the whole point of the offset on that. And part of this is also they're talking about the lean outside jaw and what they talk about where the pressure is. Now, I've talked about this before, and I've shown you guys examples, and I still get people who complain that, oh, you're using the wrench the wrong way. With an open wrench like this, there is no wrong angle. They're designed to be flip-flopped and whatnot. You're not always going towards one end. And it shows there the stress level on that is going at going right at that corner at not quite a 45-degree angle off this plane here, which means that the meat that you would see coming off the shaft into the head doesn't really come into play on that. And that's what I keep trying to explain to people. And of course, with the offset wrenches, they also have these fabulous, wrench holders and stuff. I'll be honest, they're not my favorite, but if you're carrying them around and stuff, they're pretty good. If you're hanging them on a wall, they're pretty good. In a drawer, I'd like to see more traditional, like, Snap-on-esque kind of little recessed boxes you could slide them into. I'd love to see Tekton approach more of the looking at this going into a toolbox kind of thing. Maybe they will. I don't know. But here's the deal. The fact of the matter is that they're approaching this at a whole new way of thinking, which is going to be bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. And I asked them point blank, are you doing this to bring manufacturing back to the United States? And they said quite flatly, no, we're not. We're doing it because it's the right way to do this, which kind of makes you scratch your head. And you're like, they said, we love the fact that it's bringing it back to the United States. But first and foremost, we're trying to do the right thing for the company and the right thing for the consumer, which is provide the best tool that we can possibly make at the best price that we can possibly make it. We feel we can do it this way, less expensive, especially considering future iterations, and bring a better tool to the end user than we could by shipping it all overseas. That's huge. Just consider that, because really in a capitalist economy like we have, the buck stops here. It stops where, does this make money? Does it not make money? It's great to have principle and say, hey, I want this made in the U.S., but if people can't afford it and if the company's not making money, it's not going to happen. They found a way that makes this not just make financial sense, it makes the best financial sense. And this, think about it, if a company is other companies are looking at this process, and hopefully I'm hoping that if they do get a patent on this, that they will license it, because I would love to see more manufacturing brought to the U.S. And I love this style of rapid prototyping, rapid manufacturing. It's agile development and allows people to be iterative in the process. And it brings us better quality tools. It brings us tools faster, and it allows for there to be faster growth and change in the tool industry. Anyway, I hope you're as excited as I am. Also don't forget to, I'll have links down to the Tekton stuff down below. Also, hey, I hate to say it, but it's still that season. Flu season's coming back around also. And I don't want to get into the politics and stuff again, but there are places that are requiring masks up here in the mostly free state of Montana. All the big stores are requiring masks. You want to go and get your food, you need a mask. You want to go to work, you got to have a mask. So might as well have fun with it. And we're offering, you got links down below to our Growler Tool Bear mask. Show them your inner Tool Bear. As I said, might as well have some fun with it. Anyway, that's all the bear has for you today. Don't forget to like, maybe consider subscribe if you like the stuff we bring you here. Anyway, till next time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, come on, say it with me. You know you want to. Shine on.